Santosh.
ಇದೀಗ ತಾನೇ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಮಾನ್ಯ ಕಾರ್ಮಿಕ ಸಚಿವರಾದಂತಹ ಸನ್ಮಾನ್ಯ ಶ್ರೀ ಸಂತೋಷ್ ಲಾಡ್ ಅವರು ಆಗಮಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಆತ್ಮೀಯವಾದಂತಹ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಬಯಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಥಾನವನ್ನು ವಹಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿ also please put your phones on silent mode.
ದಂತಕಲ್ಪಲತಾಭಾಷ ರತ್ನಕುಂಭಾಂಕುಶೋಜ್ವಲಂ ವರ್ಧೂಕಕಮನೀಯಾಭಂ ಧ್ಯಾಯೇ ಕ್ಷಿಪ್ರಗಣಾಧಿಪಂ. Going down to the 10th form of the 32 unique forms of Lord Ganesha, the Kshipra Ganapati, one who is known to bestow boons at a very quick rate if the devotee is sincere and pure, one who is of the beautiful red color of the Vanuka flower, one who holds a pasha, ankusha and a creeper. We go down to that Ganapati. I, Dr. Lakshmi Rekharu,
I, Anusha Lakanna,
are your hosts for this beautiful evening's journey today. We are here at the helm of the launch of a very beautiful, very meaningful, innovative, Innove8Ability for India 2026, an event presented by India Rising Foundation and Santosh Lad Foundation.
India Rising Foundation, ಶ್ರೀ ಸಂತೋಷ್ ಲಾಡ್ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಸಹಭಾಗಿತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಯೋಜಿಸಿರುವಂತಹ Innovate Ability for India ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣ, ಸಂಭಾಷಣೆ, ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಅಡೆತಡೆಗಳಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಅಡಗಿರುವ ಪ್ರತಿಭೆಗಳನ್ನ ಹೊರಹಾಕುವಂತ ಈ ದಿಟ್ಟ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಆತ್ಮೀಯವಾದಂತಹ ಗೌರವದ ಸ್ವಾಗತ, ಸುಸ್ವಾಗತ.
ನಮ್ಮ ಸನಾತನ ಪದ್ಧತಿಯ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಯಂತೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸುಂದರ ಸಂಚೆಯನ್ನ ಪುಟ್ಟ ಗಣೇಶ ವಂದನದೊಂದಿಗೆ ಆರಂಭ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ.
ಅಡಿಷನಲ್ ಲೇಬರ್ ಕಮಿಷನರ್ ಆಗಿ ಅದ್ಭುತ ಸೇವೆ, ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕತೆ ಮತ್ತು ಜನಪರ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳ ಮೂಲಕ ಲಕ್ಷಾಂತರ ಕಾರ್ಮಿಕರ ಬದುಕಿಗೆ ಬೆಳಕಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಗೌರವಾನ್ವಿತ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳಾದಂತಹ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಮಂಜುನಾಥ್ ಅವರನ್ನ ವೇದಿಕೆಗೆ ಬರಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ವೇದಿಕೆಯ ಸಂಪ್ರದಾಯದಂತೆ ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರನ್ನ ಸ್ವಾಗತಿಸಿ.
Hello. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. No response. What an amazing evening it is today, isn't it? Well, friends, today we have all gathered here on the occasion of a program which is called Innove8Ability, under the leadership of Honorable Labour Minister, Government of Karnataka, Shri Santosh S. Lad, and the foundation which he leads, Santosh Lad Foundation, along with India Rising Foundation. These two foundations are spearheading a social concern and also spearheading a public policy to bring in inclusive growth amongst the differently abled people in the state of Karnataka. The Honorable Labour Minister is spearheading a bill, a separate legislation, a bill, so that the differently abled people gets employment opportunities in the public sector and also reservation of 5% in educational institutes. This is one of the kind of bill in the state, in our country. So this is with this imagination, with this concern, he has now today organized an event, a meaningful event, along with all the corporates and the persons who have heart and concern towards the disabled people. It is my duty to welcome the August gathering and also the dignitaries for the today's event. First and foremost, I invite the Honorable Labour Minister, Sri Santosh S. Lad, the dynamic Labour Minister, not only in the state of Karnataka but in this country, to come onto the stage, please. Welcome you, sir. I take this opportunity to welcome Dr. G.K. Mahantesh, the founder trustee of Samarthanam Trust for the Disabled, one of the pioneering trusts for the disabled, not only in India but almost throughout the world, because Samarthanam Trust has offices in United States, United Kingdom, Germany, France, USSR, and other places. And it's a proud moment for me to say that Mahantesh and myself, we studied together in the university. Welcome Mahantesh to this event. I now welcome Ms. Shalini Saraswati, well-renowned sports person, onto the stage. Welcome, madam. I take this opportunity to welcome another distinguished dignitary, Father George Kannan, onto the stage. Father George Kannan, please. Welcome, sir. I now take this opportunity to welcome Shri P.K. Murugan, President JSW Industries, onto the stage. Murugan? Okay. I now take an opportunity to invite Shri Ramesh Rao onto the stage, the Vice President of Toyota Kirloskar Motors, Delhi. I also take opportunity to invite the most important personality who has organized this event and the architect of this event, Sunil Jose from India Rise Foundation. I welcome all the corporates, award winners who are attending this program, this event, important event, the sponsors, the main sponsors, all the important corporates who have made this event, who wants to be part of this journey of inclusive growth and trying to make a difference in the lives of the differently abled people. I also take this opportunity to invite the large number of press and media who are covering this event, a very, very important event. It should be a national news because a public policy is in the coming. So both the public policy, social policy regarding the disabled people is the most important discussions which is going to happen today evening. So I welcome all the other dignitaries and I thank the organizers for giving this opportunity to welcome all the important dignitaries for this event. Thank you very much.
ಎಲ್ಲರನ್ನ ಬಹಳ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯಿಂದ ನಲ್ಮೆಯಾಗಿ ಸ್ವಾಗತಿಸಿದಂತಹ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಮಂಜುನಾಥ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. I now call upon Shri Suresh Edigar, Chair for today evening's event from India Rising Foundation, to kindly address the gathering and share his joy for being here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, let the applause keep running. Let the phones go on silent.
Good evening, everybody. I'm immensely pleased to see you all here on a Saturday evening. This shows your concern or interest towards the inclusivity or innovativity, what we call as. And I hope my friend Dr. Manjunath has already invited, and on behalf of India Rising team and on behalf of the organizing team of India Rising Foundation, I warmly welcome you all. I hope you will have a very impactful evening today. all the best. I don't want to take much time, so let's proceed already. We are late. Thank you very much.
Thanks to Mr. Suresh Devika.
We are deeply privileged to present this beautiful evening with the association of two wonderful organizations, India Rising Foundation and Santosh Foundation. They have a vision of India where every ability is going to be celebrated, every barrier is dismantled, and every individual can rise and shine. All it would need are innovative ideas, consistent efforts, and a determined mind with full of compassion. ಇಂತಹ ಅದ್ಭುತವಾದ ಅರ್ಥಗರ್ಭಿತವಾದ ಸಂಜೆಯ ಸಮಾರಂಭವನ್ನ ಅಧಿಕೃತವಾಗಿ ಜ್ಯೋತಿ ಪ್ರಜ್ವಲಿಸುವುದರ ಮೂಲಕ ಉದ್ಘಾಟಿಸಬೇಕೆಂದು ಗಣ್ಯರೆಲ್ಲರಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ರಂಗದ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಈ ಸುಕಾರ್ಯವನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ.
ಇದೀಗ ಜ್ಯೋತಿ ಬೆಳಗುವ ಮೂಲಕ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ವಿದ್ಯುಕ್ತ ಚಾಲನೆಯನ್ನ ನೀಡಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ತಿದ್ವಿ. I kindly request our volunteers to please place the lamp in the center of the stage, please.
ಲೈವ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ನಾನು.
India Rising Foundation ಹಾಗೂ ಸಂತೋಷ್ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಸಹಭಾಗಿತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಯೋಜಿಸಿರುವಂತಹ Innovate Ability for India ಕಾರಣ ಸಂಭಾಷಣೆ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಮಾರೋಪಕ್ಕೆ ವಿದ್ಯುಕ್ತ ಚಾಲನೆಯನ್ನ ಗಣ್ಯರು ನೀಡುತ್ತಾರೆ.
ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ಸಮರ್ಥನಂ ಟ್ರಸ್ಟ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥಾಪಕರಾದ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಮಹಂತೇಶ್ ಜಿ ಕಿವಳಸಣ್ಣನವರವರು ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಫಾದರ್ ಜಾರ್ಜ್ ಕಣ್ಣಂತಾನ, JSW ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರಾದ ಶ್ರೀ PK ಮುರುಗನ್, 4 ಕಡೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಟೊಯೋಟಾ ಕಿರ್ಲೋಸ್ಕರ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಉಪಾಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರಾದಂತಹ ರಮೇಶ್ ರಾವ್, ಖ್ಯಾತ ಉದ್ಯಮಿಗಳಾದಂತಹ ಸುನಿಲ್ ಜೋಸ್ ಹಾಗೂ ಪ್ರಖ್ಯಾತ ಬ್ಲೇಡ್ ರನ್ನರ್ ಆದಂತಹ ಶಾಲಿನಿ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷತೆ ವಹಿಸಿಕೊಂಡಿರುವ ಶ್ರೀ ಸುರೇಶ್ ಈಗ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಹೃದಯಾಂತರಾಳದಿಂದ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನ ಅರ್ಪಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. Many of you today have gathered here wondering what is this about? What is this foundation going to do that 200 other research institutes in this huge country have not achieved still? How is it going to be different? ಈ ಒಂದು ಜಿಜ್ಞಾಸೆಯನ್ನ ಹೊತ್ತು ಬಂದಂತಹ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಉತ್ತರ ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಪುಟ್ಟ ದೃಶ್ಯಾವಳಿಯ ಮೂಲಕ. We have compiled this video to answer a plethora of questions that many of you must be harboring.
Can we have the AV, please?
ಜನರಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಾದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಗಣ್ಯರನ್ನ ಅಲ್ಲಿಯೇ ಕುಳಿತುಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಪಕ್ಕಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿಸ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ.
India has been a cradle of wisdom. From Aryabat stars to
on humanity, compassion, and selfless service. Well, many wait for people to come seeking help. This foundation itself reaches people's doorstep. Its service is not limited to a one sector of society. Instead, it works for the welfare of many sectors in the society, including education for children, support for farmers, assistance to needy families, healthcare support, women empowerment, social awareness, and humanitarian activities. The Santosh Foundation believes that service means standing beside people during the struggle with compassion, dignity, and humanity. Through its efforts, the foundation aims to create a society where help reaches every deserving person with discrimination or expectation in return. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for one of the wonderful humanity foundation, Sri Santosh Lad Foundation. We have a small audio visual presentation.
Santosh S. Lad, the
itself is worship. He has dedicated himself tirelessly to the society and people of Karnataka. Ladies and gentlemen, Santosh Lad Foundation and the person himself deserve a big round of applause. I kindly request you to please give a big round of applause to Santosh S. Lad, sir.
You now have not just one, but two foundations where you can serve, be a part as a volunteer, donor, contributor. Give us your time, your service, your ideas, and we will make it come true for a better India. It is now my honor to invite to the podium a visionary leader who has been at the very heart of this movement of India Rising Foundation. A man whose passion for building an inclusive India can only be matched by his relentless work towards this goal. Entrepreneur and tech innovator, alumnus of the prestigious IIM Bangalore, TEDx keynote speaker, sustainable agriculture advocate, founder of Scoliosis Foundation of India, Hydrobloom and Eggfolks, startup incubation and operational leadership expert, and social impact champion. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and give a warm welcome to Sri Sunil Jose, the architect of India Rising Foundation.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Santosh Banji. Thank you, Padma Shri Pranada Ramanov. You've been an advisor, a mentor, and a strong force behind India Rising Foundation. Distinguished guest, honored panelists, and every soul in this room tonight, you chose to show up for a cause that most of the world still chooses to overlook. Welcome. But more than welcome, I would like to say thank you. Because tonight, your presence itself is a statement. I want to begin not with a static, but with a question. When we think of India's greatest untapped resource, what comes to your mind? Is it our land? Is it our capital? Is it our technology? We say it's none of these. India's greatest untapped resource is a mind. A mind that sees the world differently. A mind that has been told again and again that it does not belong into a laboratory, in a boardroom, or on a stage like this. Tonight, we are here to prove that wrong. There are 2.68 crore Indians living with disabilities in India. In this country, 2.68 crores. That's not a small number. But it's a civilization within the civilization, full of curiosity, full of capability, full of fire. And yet, less than 1% of them will ever enter a formal research or innovation space. Not because they lack the intellect, not because they lack the will, but because we have made the system, the institutions, the spaces we built, never made room for them. The barrier is never ability, it's always the system. Innovability of India is not a program, it's not a project, it's not an initiative, it's a reckoning. We started this as a small project, it's become a movement right now. And thanks to people like Santosh Banji. It's our acknowledgement as a foundation, as a society, and as a nation that we have been leaving genius at the door and we cannot afford to do this any longer. Not if we are serious about becoming the innovation capital of the world. India's next breakthrough may come from the mind that navigates the world from a wheelchair. India's next patent may be filled by hands that communicate in sign. India's next Nobel laureate may belong to the researcher the world once called unreachable. We are here, thank you, we are here to build the door that lets them in. This evening, we will witness awards, conversations and commitments, but more than any of that, you will witness the beginning of a movement. A movement that says, genius has no barrier, and neither will we. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Innovate8Ability for India. Let us begin. Thank you.
you, sir, for those powerful yet very compassionate words. The four pillars of Sanatana Dharma, the Chaturvedas, they promote radical inclusivity, rooted in the philosophical concept that the divine resides in every being. They advocate for universal harmony, spiritual equality, and the recognition of humanity as one big family. That is, people. Indeed, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam carry forward unanimously. I now like to call upon Sri Lakshmi Narayan, Treasurer of India Rising Foundation, to enlighten us about the many facets, visions, goals, and responsibilities of this foundation in depth that has vowed to make a difference in the lives of all those who are truly deserving and all those who have a research bent of mind. To talk about a movement called India Rising, please give Sri Lakshmi Narayan Kakade a warm welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Honorable Minister Santosh ji, distinguished dignitaries, guests, and to all my friends on the floor. Today it's not about foundation, it's about a question. A question, can India be the next large superpower in terms of economy? Certainly, but the bigger question is, can India build the future through research, knowledge, and innovation? India has all the ingredients to rise. People, infrastructure, leadership. History rarely gives a nation this combination of scale, talent, and timing. India has all three. Yet, one question remains. Are we converting our potential into world-changing breakthroughs? The reality, 30 years ago, India spent roughly 0.6% of its GDP on R&D. Fast forward, 30 years, 2026, India still spends 0.6% to 0.8% of its GDP on R&D. We haven't moved an inch. Now let's look into our neighboring countries, China, South Korea, and Japan. Their R&D spend is approximately 3x to 10x of India. So the issue is not intelligence, the issue is access and investment. So the question we must ask ourselves, the deeper question that we must ask ourselves, for a civilization that gave the world zero before algorithms, knowledge before technology, astronomy before satellites, healing before modern medicines. What has happened? What has caused for us to lag behind research? The answer is the mindset. Yes, the Indian mindset towards research has changed. People look at easier ways. Why invent? Why research when I can train? So with this thought process, it's very difficult for India to move forward. So the takeaway, mindset, organizational DNA, and culture needs to evolve. It's not just within the industry, but within the corporate, within the government and investor circles. So this was the beginning of our story. 8 months ago of IMA campus on Banarghatta Road began a movement India Rising Foundation today is a trust and a Section 8 company with a mission to revive and progress the spirit of research and across institutions, academia, industry, government and society, and help India emerge as a global R&D capital by 2047. So we designed our programs to be democratic, fellowship and open labs. Fellowship are online programs that we run for schools, colleges, universities, organizations, any institutes, basically to revive the culture of innovation, which to a large extent is missing in India. And open labs is a concept that is borrowed from open source, open libraries, and it actually is for everyone. It is multidisciplinary and ecosystem driven. And to enable the ecosystem collaboration, we need support of government, philanthropies, startups, academia, and industry. Open labs leads to innovation in research, what UPI did to payments, or what public digital infrastructure became to India's digital economy. So imagine 100 open labs across India. A brilliant idea in a village should have the same chance as a brilliant idea in a metro city, isn't it? So with that, we wanted to run a proof of concept. So we started our collaboration with River, which is our first collaboration on the indigenous knowledge system, which is basically a collaboration that happened with the Telangana state. And today we are talking about Innove8Ability Open Lab that's going to be covered the later part of the event. Okay, India's rise has to be holistic and not fragmented. So to actually work towards it, we actually identified 4 research areas that we wanted to focus. Food and agriculture, healthcare and medicine, deep tech and future tech, energy, water and regeneration, and built habitats, built environment and habitats, policy, strategic insights and outlook, and also a civilization grounding. So no sector can carry this vision alone. So turning ideas to national impact, we have 6 powerful mechanisms. Seed grants and moonshots. Seed grants, we look at investing in early stage ideas that require validation and momentum. And moonshots, ideas that can bring in national transformation, high reward ideas. To revive the culture of research, we have fellowship where we provide long-term support for students, researchers, and independent innovators, capacity building, funding for laboratories, what we are doing today, and we also support collaborative grants and policy research. So why this matters? Why does this matter now? Deep technology is only beginning to take root in India. Without sustained research investment, we may consume future technologies but not own them. The stakes of inaction is high. We may participate in the future but not shape it. So, one and all, my request, my urge to join the India Rising movement and be the catalyst for change. Because years from now, India will not ask, did you witness India rise? India will ask, did you help me? Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, sir, for a very comprehensive outlook on what we do, what we are, who we are, and where we plan to take this forward. Do spread the word, ladies and gentlemen. You heard the speaker himself. It is not every day that we get to listen to stories of grit, determination, of insults and injuries, and finally of everlasting success. This panel and the two foundations aims to be that platform with many such stories that will build legacies to carry forward proudly to the next generation.
Dr. Mahantesh G. Kivadasannavar is the founder and managing director, managing trustee of Samarthanam Trust for the Disabled, established in the year 1997 to empower persons with disabilities and the under-disabled. A visually impaired change maker, he is also chairman for the Cricket Association for the Blind in India and a leading advocate for inclusion, education, livelihood and disability rights. May I now request Dr. Mahantesh to please present the keynote speech.
As said, he is the founder and managing trustee of Samarthanam Trust, which is our strategic partner for the evening.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. How are you all today? Respected Santosh sir, my dear friend, classmate, and dearest Manjunath, Additional Labour Commissioner, Sunil ji, Mr. Vadiraj, Lakshmi, entire IRF and Santosh Lal Foundation team, and all those who are here, friends from media, corporates, and my community colleagues. It gives me immense pleasure to be here. I don't know whether I will be delivering keynote speech when Santosh Lal sir is there. Such a great human being. What we saw in the video, I know is more than that. Because I have personally felt it, personally enjoyed it, personally experienced being with him, and he has participated in many of our programs, whether it is Samarthanam's events, Cricket Association event, Women Cricket for the Blind. Whenever we call, he's always there. So it's such an honor and privilege to have someone like him being in the wonderful Karnataka Minister portfolio and being as part of the Labour and Employment, most genuine Honorable Minister, sir. So I would like to congratulate India Rising Foundation for thinking about doing something for the disabled community, not doing technology, innovation, making innovation, technology, assistive technology accessible and making it inclusive. I think I would like to request all of you to put your hands and appreciate their gesture. I'm a strong believer of technology and a big user of technology whenever I can. I don't say I can use everything. My friends like Shuni and many are here who are great technocrats. So right from childhood, I have been using whatever best devices which are available. Starting from radio. When I started growing up, I still remember fondly listening to radio. Being myself visually impaired, I could listen and feel like most of you. But what about my speech and hearing friends? Radio meant nothing for them, thanks to the innovation of television. Television was more inclusive than radio. It also helped speech and hearing friends to watch while we learn, and all of you could hear and listen. Next best friend I got was telephone, land phones those days. So Manju would agree. I would sit in front of telephone and dialing, not pressing the buttons. I don't know how many of you see. There used to be a dial phones. We used to put fingers and dial. Next, it developed into a push phones, and then pagers, then mobiles, button phones, smartphones. You got to adapt, otherwise you are lost in the race. Dear friends, I would like to really feel very happy. I think our generation has seen so much transformation, so much changes. Every year, not every year, not every month, every day. So many applications come. And how many are made accessible? Many are not accessible. Many are not inclusive. Look at Swiggy, look at some of the banks, look at Ola, Uber. They are so very accessible. They capture the most neglected segment also. People with disability are also contributors of your business. So if every business, every product line, if every software, if every infrastructure is right from the conceptual stage, right from the designing stage, if it is conceived inclusive, if it is conceived accessible, you need not do any retrofitting. And you will address a large section of the society who will also contribute for the economy. Dear friends, earlier, assistive technology was considered as charity. It was a welfare gesture. No, now it is not. It is definitely much above that. It includes a large segment. So I think Lakshmi or Sunil mentioned 2.68 crores. World Bank and World Health Organization tells 15% of the world's population live with some disability. What is our population? 142 crores. 142 crores, 15% means how much? Around 20 crores. 21% of 21 types of disability. Our disability population is larger than the many European and other countries. So that is not the problem, that is the opportunity. So I'm very, very happy and congratulate once again entire leadership team. I would like to thank Vadira for making me come here and giving me a chance to share my thoughts. I don't call it as a keynote, but it's from the heart. So technology is the biggest enabler, what it makes easy for you. So if technology, if innovation, if developments happen at the right time, the support system is provided for persons with disability. Disability automatically loses its first three letters. What remains if disability loses its first three letters? Yeah? When the ability is there, every second is celebration. Impossible also loses its first two letters. So what is Samarthanam's vision? So I would like to promise and offer for India Rising Foundation and Santosh Foundation. We'll be part of you, we'll be part of this moment, we'll be with you. We have assistive tech accelerator, my friend Deshpande is here, and Vadraj himself is involved with us, Jayant is here. So we'll be with you, we'll be happy to share our learnings, we'll be happy to share our experiences. And we are already associated with quite a few incubations who are working on disability requirements. We all together should develop those products which are made accessible, available, and affordable. These three principles are very important. So research, I think, is must. We just need not trade as they mentioned. We all have to work and become a product company, encourage product companies, not service companies. Dear friends, I also would like to share a happy note. Last financial year, Samarthanam crossed 100 CR in the CSR alone. I would like to thank all the CSR companies. One of them I met Mr. Kanan here from Open Text, earlier Microfocus. So a lot of companies, around 226 companies contributed for this. So we will also be happy to work with India Rising Foundation in raising that 1,000 crores, helping how many fellows? Million fellows. Dear friends, Samarthanam mission is to touch million lives by 2030. So some of them will be a part of India Rising Foundation's research initiative in the open labs. We'll be happy to also work with you in creating few open labs. We are willing to share some of your load. Together only we can make a difference. Because cricket is a team game. Whatever I am today, all that I learned from you. If I am speaking, standing in front of you, it is cricket. Cricket, it taught me the language, though I did my MA from it. Language to English, but majority English came from cricket. And it is a team game. Dear friends, all of those who are sitting here, they are part of this wonderful journey. So let's work together. I don't know whether I spoke more, Santosh sir, sorry if I have spoken more. So I can speak on and on. So let us create taxpayers who are people with disability. People with disability should become taxpayers so that they become contributors and live with dignity and respect. I am also a strong believer of equality. Santosh Lal sir has come up with a wonderful bill. I'm sure it will be passed very soon. This is going to benefit hundreds and thousands of persons with disability in employment and in education. So we all should raise our voice and support Santosh sir. Someone of his stature, who thinks about us, I think we should all join hands. I'm very happy Manju is heavily supporting Santosh sir. I'm aware of him because we studied together. He used to read so much for me. Together we used to spend hours and hours, days and nights. He used to come and sleep with me in the hostel. So when bureaucrats and politicians who have social concern and initiatives like this of India Rising Foundation is going to definitely be a success. So my good wishes, Sunilji, Madhiraji, Lakshmi and entire IRF Foundation friends and Santosh Lal Foundation. You have chosen a very, very right foundation. In Santosh sir name itself Santosha ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂತೋಷ ಇದೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಖುಷಿ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಶಸ್ಸು ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಆಟೋಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ಹಿಂಬಾಲಿಸುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ನನಗೆ ಮಾತನಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ರೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ಗೆ ಸಂತೋಷ್ ಲಾಲ್ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ಗೆ ಅಭಿನಂದಿಸಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಧ್ಯಮ ಮಿತ್ರರನ್ನು ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಿಷ್ಟೇ ಮೇಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ಎ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ ಶುಡ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಟು ನೋ and build aspirations in disabled community. Thank you. Jai Hind. Jai Bharat. Jai Bharat.
ಎಂತಹ ಅದ್ಭುತವಾದ ಕಲ್ಪನೆ. People with all kinds of ability should become taxpayers and entrepreneurs ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ 20 ಕೋಟಿ ಜನರಿಗೆ ನ್ಯೂನತೆ ಇರೋದನ್ನ ತಿಳಿಸಿದಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟು ತಳಮಳ ಆಯ್ತೋ ಹಾಗೆ ಸಮರ್ಥನಂ ಟ್ರಸ್ಟ್ ಒಗ್ಗಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಬಲ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ತೋರಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂತೋಷ್ ಲಾಲ್ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಹಾಗೂ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ರೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಜೊತೆ ಕೈಗೂಡಿಸ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು ಸದಾಕಾಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದನ್ನ ಕೇಳಿ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಸಂತೋಷನೂ ಆಯ್ತು. ಇಂತಹ ಅದ್ಭುತವಾದ ಸುದ್ದಿಯನ್ನ ತಂದಂತಹ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಮಹಂತೇಶ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಅನಂತ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನ ಅರ್ಪಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. We are now delighted to have our guest of honor address the gathering and share their experiences in their journey of success. ಮೊದಲನೆಯದಾಗಿ ಶಾಲಿನಿ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ ಭಾರತದ ಒಬ್ಬ ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿದಾಯಕವಾದಂತಹ ಪ್ಯಾರಾ ಅಥ್ಲೀಟ್ ಚಾಂಪಿಯನ್ ಆಗೋದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಮೋಟಿವೇಶನಲ್ ಸ್ಪೀಕರ್ ಹಾಗೂ T62 ವಿಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಲೇಡ್ಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಓಡುವಂತಹ ಏಷ್ಯಾದ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ವೇಗದ ಮಹಿಳೆ ಎಂಬ ಹೆಸರನ್ನು ಪಡೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅನ್ಫಾರ್ಚುನೇಟ್ಲಿ ಚಿಕಿತ್ಸೆ ಇಲ್ಲದಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾದ ಸೋಂಕಿನಿಂದ ತಮ್ಮ ಎರಡೂ ಕಾಲುಗಳನ್ನ ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು ಸಹ ಸಂಕಷ್ಟವನ್ನೇ ಸಾಧನೆಯಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದಂತಹ ಮಹಿಳಾ ಸಾಧಕಿ ಇವರು. ಅಂತಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾರತವನ್ನ ಪ್ರತಿನಿಧಿಸುವ ಮೂಲಕ ಕ್ರೀಡೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳ ಮೂಲಕ ವಿಶಿಷ್ಟ ಚೇತನರ ಒಳಗೊಳ್ಳುವಿಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಸಿವಿಟಿಗೆ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಶ್ರಮಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನೌ ಟೈಮ್ ಟು ಹಿಯರ್ ದ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಲೇಡಿ addressing us and giving us her share of grit and determination.
Hi everyone, good evening. Thank you so much for having me here. It's absolutely beautiful to be part of such a big initiative. I became disabled in 2012, so I've pretty much seen life pre-disability and post-disability. And I think I see it from slightly more quarters because I've seen how it's impacted my life. It's shown me how when I was not disabled, how I took so many of the things for granted. Earlier on, I wouldn't have thought twice about this place not having a ramp, but today I do think about that. Where I am today, where I was able to get into the sports, to be able to run the TCS or to represent India in the Asian Games on blades, I think I completely took advantage of the innovation that allowed me and technology that allowed me to get back to work, having applications, allowing me all of the technology that allowed me to not feel like life was any different or any challenging at all. Today in my job, I work at Rise Bionics, which works in the space of creating prosthetics for people. One of the initiatives that we also run is Help a Child Walk, which is our way to giving back to the community, where we go back to rural India and to be able to give them prosthetics and orthotics. Because we feel today that that is one of the most empowering things that we can do for a person with a disability, is to make them independent. And an initiative like this by India Rising Foundation as well as Santosh Foundation is geared exactly the right way that we want to, because without innovation, we will not get anywhere with our lives. And I totally believe that if India has to rise, each one of us today have to rise. So you can't do that without missing out the whole lot of 20 crore people that we were talking about today. While we're talking about innovation, I just want to leave one little thought for all of the innovators in here today. Don't think about innovating for persons with disability, because there are just two realities in life. One is death and one is disability. Before all of us die, we will get disabled, right? Your eyes are not going to function as well, your legs are not going to function as well, your hands are not going to function as well. So when you're creating a world, you're creating a world for the life of a human, basically. Because at some point in time in your life, right now you're going to be fine with the stairs missing, but sometime in your life you're going to wonder and you're going to wish you had that for you, whether you didn't have the label of the disability or not. So for all of the innovators, I do hope you keep that in mind, because you just want to innovate for humanity, and that includes all of us. Thank you so much, and I wish all of you all the very best today.
Thank you. To raise this bar of innovation for everybody, every budding and established entrepreneur here in the crowd.
Thank you. That was so inspiring, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, now please help me to welcome with pride and privilege Father George Kannanthavan. Father George Kannanthavan is a renowned social worker and also a Catholic priest and director of the Project Vision, dedicated to eye donation, blind prevention, and disabled inclusion. Founder of Hope Society, is led transformative initiatives in rehabilitation, healthcare, and social welfare for marginalized communities, earning multiple national recognition. Please put your hands together and please help me to welcome Father George Kannanthavan.
I'm very happy to be here today. Since 2001, I have been living with people with disabilities. I work at the Sumanahalli Society for People with Leprosy, HIV, and disabilities, and unfortunately, most of our people are people with disabilities today. Looking at what innovation can bring to people with disabilities, we have seen people literally struggling to move themselves on the ground before the wheelchairs came. Wheelchairs was a great invention to help them to live a little more dignified way. But today, we find motorized wheelchairs that makes them to fly. And the kind of dignity change what that has brought to them is tremendous. They no longer feel themselves as persons with disabilities, but they're able to move and live a dignified life today. And this is what innovation can bring to people with disabilities across various countries. And this is what we are talking about in India Rising. How technology, innovation can change lives of people with disabilities. And Mr. Sunil was talking about 2.3% of Indians being disabled, which means about 4 crore Indians are with disabilities. Such a huge number, almost close to the population of Karnataka. We are in the country people with disabilities. So, is our research, development, innovation really in that sphere to help them? And that is, I think, the challenge for us. In Sumanahalli, we believe in providing them a dignified life giving them opportunities, and that is what we have been trying to do. We set up a garments manufacturing unit in our campus. Today, many of those people with disabilities are working in that unit. And I believe that the core of giving them dignity is to make them earning people. Once they begin to earn, they are accepted in the family, they are wanted in the society, and life changes for them. So the crux of rehabilitation is actually economic independence, and that is what we need to help our people to move into. This requires a lot the help of the government. I would like to inform our Minister Santosh that Karnataka is the only state in the whole country which has created a reservation in government job for leprosy cured people. Nearly 500 leprosy cured people are working in various government departments, very especially the health department. Now, once they get a job, they get everything. They get a uniform, they get dignity, they get the quarters, and then many of them today are able to manage their life because of that. So disability space requires a lot the help from the government. India claims to have about 40,000 crores of money every year from the CSR funding. How much of that is available for the disability sector? I was very happy to hear from Mr. Mahandesh that they have been able to generate about 100 crores for disability work. But I think when you look at 40,000 availability in the whole country, this is still very, very less. So I request all those from the corporate world to allocate more money and funds for disability research, for disability rehabilitation, and creating spaces for people in that way. I'm very glad the India Rising Foundation, along with the Santosh Foundation, is coming out with various plans for creating opportunities for them. They are thinking of innovation lab to be done. We do have a space in Tumkur district where we are now working together to create a space for such a lab to be established. I'll be very glad to work along with this foundation to ensure that everybody with disability has a space and an opportunity to create lives for themselves in the country. I wish both these foundations all the best at this very important moment of its establishment. All the best.
ತಮ್ಮ ಅನಿಸಿಕೆಗಳನ್ನ ಬಹಳ ಆತ್ಮೀಯವಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಜೊತೆ ಹಂಚಿಕೊಂಡಂತಹ ಶ್ರೀಯುತರಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
ಕಾರ್ಮಿಕ ಇಲಾಖೆಯ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿಯನ್ನ ಮಾನ್ಯ ಕಾರ್ಮಿಕ ಸಚಿವರು ವಹಿಸಿಕೊಂಡಾಗಿಂದ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳನ್ನ ಅವರು ರೂಪಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹಲವಾರು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳು ಯಶಸ್ವಿಯಾಗಿದೆ. ಸಾವಿರಾರು ಜನರು ಇಡೀ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರನ್ನ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಸ್ಮರಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತಹ ದಿನ ಇದೆ. ಆನ್ ಬಿಹಾಫ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ವುಮೆನ್ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಕಾರ್ಮಿಕ ಸಚಿವರಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಈಸ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಹೂ ಸ್ಪೋಕ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಮೆನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರುಯಲ್. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಪ್ರತಿ ತಿಂಗಳು ಒಂದು ದಿನ ಯು ನಾಟ್ ಅಶೇಮ್ಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಸರ್ ಎನಿಮೋರ್. ಸೊ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಸೋ ಓಪನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ನಾವು ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಹೆಮ್ಮೆಯಿಂದ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ದಟ್ he spoke on behalf of us and we got a one-day leave from all entire women and also for the men, you know, behind every successful of women there is also a gentleman. So ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ತುಂಬ ಹೃದಯದ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನ on behalf of women ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಹಾಗೆ ಸಾವಿರಾರು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸಾವಿರಾರು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳು ಅದ್ಭುತವಾಗಿ ಯಶಸ್ಸನ್ನ ಕೂಡ ಕಂಡಿದೆ. ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನ ರೂಪಿಸೋದಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನ ಕೂಡ ಯಶಸ್ವಿಗೆ ತರೋದು ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯಕರವಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ವಿಚಾರ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದನ್ನ I request Lakshmi also to say few words about it.
It is my privilege to be even talking about this historic moment. In a historic legislative move that could set a national precedent, Karnataka is on the verge of becoming the first state in India to mandate a job and education quota for differently abled individuals in the private sector. Ably titled, The Karnataka Rights of Persons with Disabilities in Employment and Education Bill 2026, the ambitious legislation is being strongly championed by none other than our very dear Karnataka Labour Minister Sri Santosh Lal. Please feel free. It's going to be a historic moment and you all are going to be part of that. This bill seeks to fundamentally overhaul the professional and academic landscape for persons with disabilities across the state. A national first in private sector inclusion. This is what he is aiming, not just through his foundation, but also personally. We wholeheartedly thank you, Santosh sir, for even bringing this to the forefront and making Karnataka the torchbearer for this proud moment.
ಮಾನ್ಯ ಕಾರ್ಮಿಕ ಸಚಿವರ ನೇತೃತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಳೆದ 3 ವರ್ಷಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾರ್ಮಿಕ ಇಲಾಖೆಯು ಸಾಧಿಸಿರುವಂತಹ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ, ಸೇವೆ ಮತ್ತು ಜನಪರ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳ ವಿಶೇಷ ಕ್ಷಣಗಳನ್ನ ಒಳಗೊಂಡಿರುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಪ್ರದರ್ಶನವನ್ನ ನೋಡೋಣ.
Santosh S. Lad, the latest sensation
deserves this beautiful evening. He definitely deserves a standing ovation from all of you. If you think whatever you saw is worth it, please give the man his due honors, because we need more people like this at the help of the government. ಅಂತಹ ಆರ್ಮಿ ಆಫ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಇದ್ರು ನಮ್ಮ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು ಇವ್ರನ್ನ ಕರೀತಾರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಸಾಧನೆ ಮಾಡಿರೋರು ಎಷ್ಟು, ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಛಾತಿ ಇರೋರು ಎಷ್ಟು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಈಗ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ.
ಪುಲ್ವಾಮಾ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಉಗ್ರಗಾಮಿತ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. Sometimes, he's the one at a go. Mostly CM ಸರ್ ನೆನಪಾಗೋದೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂತೋಷ್ ಸರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಎಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವೇನು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಮಾಡೋಂಗೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ಫುಲಿ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟೆಡ್. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಬಹಳ ಖುಷಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಮ್ಗಂತೂ ಬಹಳ ಖುಷಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಇಂಥ ಒಬ್ಬರ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸರ್ಕಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದು. ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಕಾರ್ಮಿಕರ ಇಲಾಖೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ತರ ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನ ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ವೆರಿ ಚಾಲೆಂಜಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಐ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಸೇ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಬಹಳ ಖುಷಿ ಆಯ್ತು ತಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಸಹಕರಿಸಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ.
ಖಂಡಿತ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಬರುವಂತಹದ್ದಲ್ಲ ಇದು. ಸೇವಾ ಮನೋಭಾವ ಹುಟ್ಟಿನಿಂದಲೇ ಬೆಳೆಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಅದು ರೂಢಿಯಾಗಿ ಬರುವಂತಹದ್ದಲ್ಲ. ಅಂತಹ ಒಂದು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಗಿರೋದು
ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಿಜಕ್ಕೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಖುಷಿ ಕೊಡುವಂತಹ ವಿಚಾರ. And also, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the India's most iconic fashion gurus, Prasad Bijappa, who has introduced and inspired countless talented stars through the house of Prasad Bijappa. It's an honor and privilege to welcome such a legendary personality among us today. May I now request Mr. Prasad Bijappa to kindly share few words.
Everyone, namaskar. It's really a pleasure being here. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, respected community leaders, members of the media, and dear friends, this evening we gather to honor a journey of commitment, compassion, and meaningful public service. It is my great privilege to welcome a leader whose work has consistently created real impact across Karnataka, empowering youth, supporting education, and strengthening healthcare, and uplifting communities through the Santosh Foundation. Today's event, Innove8Ability, in association with India Rising Foundation, celebrates inclusion, accessibility, and empowerment, while Grounding Purple shines a spotlight on confidence, individuality, and representation beyond boundaries. We are honored to welcome Shri Santosh S. Lad, Honorable Minister for Labour, Government of Karnataka, and District in Charge Minister for Dharwad District. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a huge round of applause to Honorable Minister, Mr. Santosh Lad. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Mr. Santosh Lad.
Namaskar everybody. Good evening everybody. A very emotional one anyway. I don't know whether I really deserve a standing ovation, but I don't know from where this came. Thank you so much for this. ಈ ಒಂದು ವೇದಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ when we started this idea, and I should the whole concept came from Sunil and Shu, my friend of Uttam, came to me and said that there is one sort of a foundation called Innovative India, where they want to come and meet me. In fact, they met us, from there we started, and I promised them that this Innovative India which they have started, I feel they should always work with the government, whichever government they want to work in any part of the country. And I always said that central government as well as state government should start giving money to such innovative foundations where the asset or the intellectual property would be public domain with the state and as well as the country. This is what the thought, if I'm wrong, please correct me. So with this, I'm still on the same page. I personally feel that I will definitely take this idea to the Honorable Chief Minister of Government of Karnataka, and I'm sure in future coming days,
that there will be some sort of a contribution from the state where definitely this innovative program where you want to take to the villages and you want to make 100 labs. I'm sure apart from being Karnataka minister, I will definitely try. Being as a part of your foundation, I will definitely work as a volunteer in your foundation also. I would like to say that. There are too many things to say, but I will not speak much in it. I've been there in this politics quite a long now, almost more than 30 years. So I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't chew a tobacco. Since from the age of 17, I've been very active in politics. Today, we all are responsible. Every individual. If you think that politicians are the only people who are accountable, no. Every person in this hall here or every person in this country or a state, we all are individually responsible. People feel, politics. I've seen people when I walk through, people speak so wrong about politics. Anyway, they're right because that's how they're pursued. But today things are changing. I personally feel everybody should put an effort. It's not that when you say when I'm putting effort, you should try to support any political party or you should go and hold a flag. But honestly, if you're not aware what is happening in this country or this society, it's a failure of a society itself. So, you feel that politicians has to be great, you want a politician with a lot of qualities, then that has to come from you only. So I always keep telling you, we are all representing the society. If the society is clear, if society is good, we are representing the society. So I feel whenever you are there in any way, you should always create an awareness. What do you mean by awareness? Please don't follow the media. Today's media is quite vast. It could be for us or could be for anybody. And maybe the social media or the WhatsApp group or the Instagram. Today, the reason why I'm telling you is this country does not belong to any one political party. Neither it belongs to Congress, neither it belongs to BJP. This country belongs to all 140 crore of this population. So, there is a narration, yes, obviously there is a narration. To understand it, I think you should really introspect and see that what's happening in this country. Just for sake of few sort of statistics, even though we proudly say we are fourth in the world, we are the largest $4 trillion economy, but it's not. So today we are in the sixth position. That's okay. But let us compare because there's so many comparisons happened. Joe spoke and as well as a few people spoke about the statistics. But here, I'm not trying to criticize. I'm trying to tell you the fact. Even though we consider ourselves fourth economy or sixth economy, if you compare to the other country, let us compare to other country. Let us start with America. America having a $30 trillion economy, having a population of 34 crore people, and having a per capita income of about 90 lakh. So coming back to China, having a population of 150 crore, having a $20 trillion economy, and having a per capita income of about 12 to 13 lakhs. Coming to Japan, having a population of 12 crore and having a GDP of about $4.7 trillion, having a per capita income of 35 lakhs. Coming to Germany, having 8 crore, having nearing $5 trillion economy, having a per capita income of 50 lakhs. Coming to India, having a $4 trillion economy and having a per capita income closely to 2 lakhs. So this is the fact. You need to understand this. We are not trying to talk anything about anybody here. But if you don't understand all these things, how do we get into politics? So taking sides or liking somebody or disliking somebody has to be on a policy and a program based or a growth based. This is where my point of view is because there are so many more than 250 IITs here. And it's the first time, I think, because the Kannada media is here. ಇದು ಮೊದಲನೇ ಬಾರಿಗೆ 250 ಹೆಚ್ಚು IITN and IIMs ನವರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಈ ಒಂದು ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸೇರಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೂ ನಾನು ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಯಸ್ತೀನಿ. More than 250 to 300 people of IITN and IIMs are here. Therefore, the cause. But in matter of any political party, in matter of any government, we have to speak the truth. So, getting forward here, I will not really try to speak much. But the reality is that if you don't understand reality and if you're speaking away from reality, nothing is going to happen. Today, after being an 80 years old independent country, today 93% are in the informal sector here. Unorganized sector is around 93%. These are the statistical figures which you cannot run away from it. It's fact, you have to accept it. Even though you're talking about so much, but today 93% of India is still in the unorganized sector. So where do we see ourselves? You're talking about this innovative, and definitely I'll come and speak about it. But today's fact is that the 93% of population in India is unorganized sector. We have around about 9 crore people who are income tax assessee. We pay around 4.5 crore people pay income tax. We have got 1% of Indian population holding 40% of wealth. It's a real fact. Down bottom of 50% of people are holding only 3% of wealth. This is a real fact. So more than or below the 10% people are earning 25,000 rupees salary here. Only maximum 3% or 10% of people are earning around 3 lakhs rupees here. So these are all the statistical things which you need to understand. This is the reality. If you compare the per capita income to other countries, we are so very far. But we project ourselves to be a 4th ranking or 6th ranking, even though we are proud to be there. But reality fact is per capita income is very low when you compare to other countries. Just for the sake of sharing this, I shared. But anyway, coming back to where we started this today, with you, India and as well as India Rising, along with my foundation, we started this idea where we said that let us have this sort of a gathering where all walks of people will come here and try to understand what we are trying to do and create a platform for the, I really don't like to call disabled or the specially able people. That we thought that we should create an R&D lab for them, for which already they have started. So I am a part of their journey. So Sunil and Shu, I promise you, as long as I'm there, alive, God has given me the energy. I'll be working as a volunteer once again with the foundation too. So there's so many things. As Buddha starts with saying, first arrow, he says about Salatha Sutta. It says that the first strike is always a blow. So what we call is people with disabilities. You don't know. You don't know when you are going to be disabled. One of my friends was telling, you may be very able today. As the age progresses, there are chances that you will become ill. There are chances that you will have some sort of a disease, or you can find an accident to yourself and see that you are disabled. So anyway, even we can say that disabled sometimes is a temporary, but as she says, as we grow old, there's a time comes we all are going to be disabled. So coming back from where the Buddha starts, Buddha said the same thing. The first time when it hits to you, you have to accept the reality. So the reality what we are accepting, the population today in India is more than 15% of population which is a disability. That's why the whole idea of me getting together is that we should help the disabled people here, and as well as I was trying to promote a bill which I am trying to get, so we wanted all support from all walks of life. So coming back here, as Article 14 states that Constitution of India, it says that guarantees equality before law to every citizen and as well as disabled also. So Article 15, Article 21, Article 21 states that ensures the right to live of dignity. And Article 32 says it's fundamental rights, whereas Article 32 governs and gives it's a heart of a constitution which Ambedkar said that you will have every remedy, any constitutional remedy is under Article 32. With all these things, so we thought that I especially thought that we should get this bill here, and I'm trying my best. So I require all your support. So even that during the Constituent Assembly also there was a debate on this. They said if democracy becomes or will have only the meaning when the weaker is protected by law. So disability rights which we are talking about is not a charity, it's a fundamental right and it's justice which we are supposed to provide them. So having all this background here, we thought, and personally I took it very personally, this bill is very close to me. So I should thank my fellow friend Mr. Manjunath here and my entire Labour department. Almost for the last 6 months, we are trying our good sense to see to that this bill will get enacted in a country. It's going to be first of its kind in India, where the disabled people will be given 3% of reservation in the private sector, both in employment as well as the education. So I should thank my fellow government. So the whole the India's future, if we don't have inclusiveness of these people in the policy making, I always say that the policy making is that we should include all walks of life of people. If we make them inclusive, that is going to be a growth of this country. So I would not take much of a time, but if you see the disability, as we said, it is not always a permanent. Anyone can become a temporarily or permanently disabled through age, illness, or accidentally. So what we require is now is accessibility, inclusion, and awareness. So there are 21 types of disabilities. So different disability comes with the different challenges. So everyone needs an opportunity now. So I request, since they all require an opportunity, so this is where I am trying to get this bill. So all the people who all have come here, it's a humble request from the bottom of the heart that you support this bill in whatever ways you can. There are so many ways today, from social media to Facebook to Instagram and Twitter. So please use all the modes to support this bill so that all the people who have gathered here, that the new change would begin from Karnataka and it will reach the entire country. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಸ್ಮೋಕ್, ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಟೊಬ್ಯಾಕೋ ಇನ್ ಎನಿ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅಂತ. ಕಿವಿಗೆ ಅಮೃತದ ಸಿಂಚನ ಆಯ್ತು ಕೇಳಿ. ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋರು ಹೀಗಿರ್ತಾರ, ಹೀಗೂ ಇರ್ತಾರ ಅಂತ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಆಶ್ಚರ್ಯ ಮೂಡಿಸಿದ್ರು. ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ಲೈಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡಿಸ್ಲೈಕಿಂಗ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಅಲೋನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಈ ಮಾತನ್ನ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ತಲೆನಲ್ಲಿ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ದೇಶ ಉದ್ಧಾರ ಆಗೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಸಂದೇಹನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ.
And also, me being a law student, I would like to bring it to your notice that ಇವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ. ಡೌರಿ ಡೆತ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ವುಮೆನ್ ಹರಾಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇವೆಲ್ಲದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಯಾರು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಸೆಂಬ್ಲಿಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನ ನಾವು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ಸರ್ ಸ್ಪೋಕ್ ಆನ್ ಬಿಹಾಫ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಸ್. ವಿಡಿಯೋಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ನೋಡಿದೀರಾ, ಮೆನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಲ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಆ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಬಟ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ವೇ ಇಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅಸ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಅದು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಒಂದು ಖುಷಿ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ I would like to remember Dr. B.R. Ambedkar also. 1951 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವುಮೆನ್ ರೈಟ್ಸ್, ಅಡಾಪ್ಷನ್, ಡಿವೋರ್ಸ್ ಇವೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನ ಕೂಡ ಅವರು ವಿರೋಧ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, but he stood for us. He resigned as the first law minister of this right country. So please put your hands together. Women especially have to make some loud noise to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar on this stage. If you remember, please read over it. And I think that it's my sincere request, please pass on the message that each one of us should know our constitution. Each one of us should know about what it is written in our constitution, all the articles. It's a basic thing. So I kindly request everyone supporting this. And also I request now, so I think we just ran away to know what is next. Maybe a small changes?
We would like to call upon Padma Shri awardee Shri Prahlad Rao to kindly come onto the stage to express our gratitude to all the beautiful guests of honor who have assembled here today. Please. Padma Shri ಪುರಸ್ಕೃತರಾದಂತಹ ಶ್ರೀಯುತ ಪ್ರಹ್ಲಾದ ರಾವ್ ಅವರು ಇಂದು ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಗಿರುವುದು ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಸುಕೃತ. ಇದು ಅದ್ಭುತವಾಗಿ ಮಾತನಾಡಿದಂತಹ ಎಲ್ಲರನ್ನ
through us in thick and thin. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Sir, please stand back. Photograph. SLF, Sports, Lifestyle and Fitness, served by himself is a fitness enthusiastic and he always promote the fitness and he loves sports. He's encouraging all the sports personalities. So we have a wonderful athletes on stage and also wonderful photograph for the magazine which is captured by Mr. Pratidhvani. I request all the athletes to please join us on the stage. This side please. Yes. And you can see our wonderful athlete. She's the face of the magazine. She's standing right here on stage.
Section where we hear the sponsors of the event speak. The sponsors are that quiet foundation beneath the grand stage, turning the fragile dreams of a cause into the enduring architecture of reality. Like a powerful wind filling those sails, their belief carries the message further than a single voice could ever echo. We now have our title sponsor, Toyota Kirloskar's Vice President, Sri Ramesh Rao, to kindly address this beautiful gathering.
ಗುಡ್ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್, ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಮಾನ್ಯ ಕಾರ್ಮಿಕ ಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳಾದ ಶ್ರೀಯುತ ಸಂತೋಷ್ ಲಾಡ್ ಅವರೇ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಮಹಂತೇಶ್ ಅವರೇ, ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಲೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಸುನೀಲ್ ಜೋಸ್ ಅವರೇ ಮತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಇವತ್ತು ಇಂಥ ಒಂದು ಫೋರಂನಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ CSR ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿಗಳನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಕಿರುಪರಿಚಯ ನೀಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಬಟ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ದೇರ್, we have met Honorable Minister many times, and whenever we meet him, we get a introduction of his character, very powerful character, and we get inspired. But today, after seeing the video and understanding what activities he has done, it is truly inspiring, sir. And listening to you on your thoughts and the concern about the country, it is truly inspiring. As an organization, we respect you, and definitely we will take this forward through our activities. Thank you very much. We will always be with you. So just want to give a brief introduction of what our activities we are doing. So we are in Karnataka for the last 30 years. So as a responsible corporate, we are doing many CSR activities. I will quickly introduce these to you. So our mission is grow India, grow with India. We have 3 pillars in this. The first is we will work closely with the society to solve societal problems through technology. So this is, I think, perfectly aligns with today's theme. And second is we will utilize our innovation to make India a better place. And third is excellence in sustainability through eco-friendly practices in all our operations. So these 3 are the major pillars which we have worked to make sure that India grows, and with India we also grow. Our CSR activities is aligned with the Toyota's global CSR activities. Mainly 6 pillars we have. One is the education, road safety, environment, skill development, and health and hygiene, and disaster relief. So these are the 6 areas mainly we work. And last many years we have aligned our programs around these 6 areas. So this is our approach. So we believe that if the country has to prosper, then the behavior or the culture has to change, and the best time to change is when start from the childhood. So our theme is child to community. So we try to introduce programs of behavior change in all our CSR activity, starting from the childhood, going to the school, then education institutes, universities, etc. So that is one way. Second is building resilient communities. That is, develop social assets and communities so that they are sustained, they have ownership, and then they can take it forward, these activities. And third is we collaborate with the government and other institutes, other industries, so that as a society, whatever problem we recognize, we work collaboratively to solve this, not as an individual company. So this is our approach to CSR. So some of the activities which we have done, I just want to introduce. So as I said, child to community, the behavior change activities, what we do. Yeah. So we work on the Anganwadi. We have a Toyota Anganwadi program because when the child is young, it is they can grasp it faster and they can understand what is required for society, and focus on the school, model school development, focus on quality learning, and also Arogya program, Toyota Shale Arogya program. So these are the things. And we also have a program called ABC, Behavioral Change Demonstration Program. It is primarily introducing the sanitation awareness at the school level, especially the girl child. So this has been globally recognized by the Harvard Business School as well as the global media. So we are proud to say that. Other than this, we also have community program wherein we create assets for the community so that community can take it forward with the ownership, like modernization of the schools, especially KPS, Karnataka Public Schools. We have built around 22 schools, and lake restoration around Ramnagar, waste management for the villages, water units, drinking water units, and healthcare, building the hospital or providing the healthcare equipments. And also, we work a lot on the skill promotion. I think one of the programs which we are working with the Honorable Minister is on this skill development. So this is one of our major focus area being automobile cockpit. So apart from this, we have also started some programs for the people with special abilities, like the tricycle what we saw in this video, so that we are also part of that program. So these are locally we are doing, but I would like to say that as a global sponsor, Toyota was the global sponsor for the Para-Olympic for 2020 Tokyo and 2024 Paris. We were the mobility partner, and during this period, we have developed many mobility solutions for the para-athletes. And even we had the para-athletes as our brand ambassadors. So globally, we have that recognition and responsibility to do innovative solutions for the para-athletes. And in our vehicle also, we are in a mobility business. So we have many solutions so that people with special abilities can use the vehicle just like a normal people. So, for example, the seats which are specially designed for the specially able people to get in, get out without any difficulty. So, these kind of solutions, as a responsible mobility company, we have developed and taking inspiration from today. So, we will definitely work closely with the Honorable Minister and the India Rising Foundation to see what best we can provide as the mobility solutions provider. With this, I conclude my presentation, and thanks once again for this opportunity.
Thank you, sir, for giving us a bird's eye view of what it all is happening under the brand Toyota Kirloskar. We now move on to a very important part of today's evening, the panel discussion, where we hear the experts speak on why and how of involving inclusivity in every front of our life. We will now take a moment as we prepare for our next session. There is a small change in the itinerary. We will have to wait for yet another day to hear those beautiful panelists speak and make us aware of the why and how of everything. We have come to this section where we hear Ms. Anjali Ajay Kumar, the director of HCG Foundation, who champions healthcare innovation and inclusion for underserved communities via foundation leadership, to address us and share her points of view with us. Ma'am, if you're here, kindly join us on stage. Please feel free to give that warm welcome. We really need it.
Thank you so much for having me here. I think I'll speak on two fronts. One as part of the HCG hat, and the other as part of an older sister of a brother who is differently able. So, first off, as the HCG, many of you have heard of South Asia's largest cancer care network. We have 26 hospitals across India, and this is my 18th year in the company, so I've been there for a long time, but also in starting the foundation. And the starting of the foundation was primarily to focus on patients who could not afford care and how to help them meet the medical expenses for high quality of care. And in that journey of looking at and helping over thousands of patients, we also came on a very topic that is in light of today's conversation on R&D. And where is it when we look at India's R&D on the Indian diaspora and the Indian people? Because we know that data for cancer care was so based for Caucasians or for the West. And in the research that HCG and the Foundation has done, we have found time and time again that our genetics are different, our genotype is different, and how we react to drugs are different. And with that, we know that there's a lot more room for research and development. This last year alone, in the last few years, HCG, aside from being a listed private company, has put aside over 20 crores just for research, because we have over 500 oncologists in the group, and they have to look at real world data every day in order to see what our patients are going through and how do we improve the quality of care. And that is, I think, a shared vision that requires research in order to go for outcomes. And some of these outcomes are very, very measurable. For example, because I have the data, 5 years ago, HCG was doing about 5,000 discharges across the country, and our death rate was about 3.84. And people thought it was very normal. It is in the global bracket. But today, in January, we did 17,000 discharges, and our death rate was 0.74. And this is because of research. This is because of research, and this is why we need people from all different walks of life and to come in to focus on research. Each person brings in a different perspective, idea, and from their background. On a personal front, my brother was diagnosed at 4 with Duchenne muscular dystrophy, which is a non-curable disease where boys get affected and women are carriers, like myself. And I just will spend a minute on educating that we have to spend also a lot on not just research, but also doing actionable items on that research. We know today that there are ways to use, for us to do genetic testing and to know that if we're a carrier and what we can do about it. We can use assisted fertility like IVF, and I run our million centers, but we know that we can do that, but we don't have enough people that are educated that you can do this. You can freeze your eggs, you can avoid. And I remember, and I know it's a necessary need because there's no cure. My brother at the age of 10 said, Akka, please don't make anyone come into his life with this because it is extremely painful and it is something that nobody should really go through. But I hope that with research and development, we can find a cure. He unfortunately passed away this last September, but he was 35, had done his master's in psychology, was doing research and helping other patients and other people come and realize what they can contribute. So I'm very much passionate about this cause, and I would definitely want to hold hands with India Rising to see how we can do more in the fields of research and development. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your views of different benefits, dear man. Kindly please accept our token of gratitude. Thank you, ma'am. We also have with us all the way from the capital of this beautiful country, Arman Ali. He is a leading disability rights advocate, national award recipient, Oxford-trained policy expert and pioneer behind India's assistive technology hub, MP Forum on Disability and Inclusive Policy Reforms. It is time to hear this beautiful soul who has come all the way for us from Delhi to speak and share his vision. So if you're here, please join us on stage. The moment I look onto my left, all of you look onto your right. Please continue to support us with your enthusiasm. It truly means much for a foundation that is working tirelessly to create a meaningful world. Shri Arman Ali, if you're here, we will wait for him. I'm sure he's going to join us very soon. All understand this basic principle that Innovation is going to thrive only when there is inclusivity. If yes, please give me a loud cheer.
Yes.
Thank you. Somebody who is waiting to go to dinner loudly said yes. Nevertheless, that is precisely the spirit behind the Innove8Ability Open Lab. Let us watch this exciting preview of what this initiative holds in store for all of us. The time for the AV now on Innove8Ability Lab video, Open Lab video. Please turn your attention to the screen, not your phone screens, to the big screen here on stage, ladies and gentlemen. AV, please. Shifali, co-chair Indian Rising R&D Task Force.
Thank you. I won't take a lot of your time. I know you've been with us through this exciting evening. So let me just jump straight into the vision of what we want to build. So Innove8Ability Labs, the question would always be why, and that question has been answered by the speakers who came onto the dais before I did, and we all know the answer. We have 2.68 crores members amongst us for the sharpest minds who were not invited to the Innovation Party, and India Rising Foundation aims to change that. So let me just quickly skip through these statistics. You've heard this in this evening already, so I won't take a lot of your time. Let me move to what we want to address, the ability of people who are differently able, their ability to think, innovate, and create new ideas is never the barrier. The barrier is infrastructure. And this is a problem that we aim to solve by creating the Innove8Ability Open Labs as a separate campus and structure. So what are we building? We are building a purpose-built, fully accessible, multidisciplinary research lab. Now, you would ask the question, why? There are many research institutions in India, I'm sure all of us are aware of them. Yet, the challenge remains that when a lab is built for what we consider as fully able people, the infrastructure itself is challenging. So there is a definite need to build something from ground up that accommodates every kind of variant of ability. I would not say disability, it's a variant of ability that needs to be accommodated right from the ground up. So we plan to build, to start with, 10,000 square feet of an open lab, which is universally accessible. We would want to foster multidisciplinary research. So, although as a scientist, I'm personally biased towards biology and biochemistry research, that will not be the case with the lab. We will foster all areas of research. And we would love to, sorry, this is not working. We would also love to guide all our specially able innovators through an entire journey of creating IP and translating their research into products and eventually into livelihoods. So how do we plan to do this? So let's look at some technology-enabled features. Now, as I mentioned, we have to build a lab that is intelligent from ground up. So the first thing we envision is a campus-wide building intelligence system. This is going to be a system that will constantly guide all our innovators as they work with the building. Now, to start with, we envision using VR walkthroughs to even create the building concept, how to create an accessible environment. So this is going to be used to shorten the lead time that is required to construct and to also prevent delays and any kind of reconstruction. We would also plan to employ VR-assisted familiarization software. So if any innovator that wants to come to our lab comes prepared, they don't waste time they don't waste time learning the atmosphere. The atmosphere comes to them before they come to the lab. Similarly, AI-powered access modalities are envisioned. I will just quickly flip through. I'm sure the images are self-explanatory. AI-powered vertical lifts and water doors, smart pavement sensor arrays to provide intelligent guidance to researchers. Then employment of LiDAR-equipped drones. These should be used to monitor all the exterior surfaces to identify obstacles before they really become huge obstacles. Any kind of surface variation, any kind of deformity that's cropping up should be rectified before it causes any accidents. Usage of materials like photochromic smart glass corridors to adjust, to create an ambience of adjustment, adjustable lighting, all these will be used in this building. Similarly, to enable people who cannot walk on their own, then there would be kiosks with robotic exoskeletons. I'm sorry, this was a movie, but that did play. There would be kiosks with robotic exoskeletons to help people walk. Other smart navigation tools that we plan to use would be RFID embedded tactile strips to create guidance. Active floor zoning technology, usage of AI adaptive color contrast system. These are the kind of systems that we envision for our Innovate8Ability campus. Refreshable braille digital kiosks, 3D printed tactile map stations. All of these are designed to enable our innovators to use the atmosphere very freely. Additionally, we are also planning a new feature of providing olfactory cues, that is, smell guidance cues. Sensors can trigger offensive smells when somebody is walking into danger, and sensors can trigger pleasant smell when people are going on the right path. Now, how do we create adaptive workspaces? So, again, there are many intelligent solutions that we can employ. For example, a motorized cube work triangle. This is principally used in biochemistry research. But similar such setups are envisioned to be created within our campus. Memory profile electric benches. So these are the kind of workstations that will adjust to the specific abilities of a researcher and remember them as well. So there is no need to readjust their environment every time they enter the lab. Similarly, there are extremely smart tools like adaptive makerspace consoles, brain computer interface lab controllers, IAs in order to create a very safe and inclusive atmosphere. We also envision person-specific cues. I know this is video, but it's not playing. We also envision person-specific cues to tell every innovator that it's time for them to relax and recuperate as well. Now, in terms of adaptive environment, adaptive environment is another feature that we plan to build in this campus. Let me just quickly flip you through some of the concepts that we want to implement. Active noise control smart zones, sensory safe dashboards, modular sensory pods for people who are neurodivergent, who need specific sensory cues to relax or specific sensory cues to be avoided. Those will be built. AI-based sensory route optimizer. This is why the building intelligence system will come into play very heavily. All these are features that we envision that we want to create. Similarly, multimodal knowledge and communication systems. This is something we are very familiar with. We are all using it, recording G-Meets and Zoom Meets. All of these, live AI caption, transcript generation, transmitting that transcript to every innovator in real time so that nobody is left behind. So here our focus will be every innovator, every format, every time. And these are of course the kind of tools that we would love to implement completely throughout the campus. Yeah. Remote accessibility using VR Campus Twin software. In addition to all of these features, we would also have a focus on systems and protocols for safety. So the building intelligence system will provide cues for to the right teams whenever there is a health issue with any innovator. I'll skip through this video in the interest of time. But there will also be personal vibro-tactile alert wearables given to every innovator. And intelligent strobing plus flow lighting for emergency evacuations. So I will just give you a final parting thought. Universal design is not an accommodation, it's an innovation multiplier. So there is a very distinct need to have this campus built, and I solicit all your support to make this, transform this into a reality. So I would not go into, we've used 14 core design principles, novel technologies. Now, the one question that you may be wondering is, all this is conceptually fine, and yes, all this technology can be employed, but what would the place look like? Now, to help you understand what the campus would look like, let me invite Professor Dinesh Rao to the stage. He has kindly helped us by designing this idea and showing us what a real campus can look like. Over to you, Mr. Rao.
Thanks. So yeah, I think we're going to run through this pretty fast. Yeah. So we were actually looking at this phrase as Shalini ma'am was saying, that rather than disability, we prefer to use differently able, because we're all differently able. So the idea is, can we look at this as a place for humanity? And so we had a whole lot of buzzwords which we put together. And I chose to see this as an intersection of mind, body, history, and nature. And in between those, we have the intersections. Yeah, okay. So we also, in the interest of exploring Indian, knowledge systems, we've used devices like the mandala, and we've used the idea of air and void or should. So then we kind of developed this concept, and what we have now is just a conceptual imagery. This is of course again AI generated, but I'll just run you through this quickly. So we tried to make this as humane and relatable a place as possible, because most laboratories are seen as very clinical spaces with a lot of white light and stainless steel tables. So also in our experience, we found that both innovation and a lot of discoveries happen not in the lab itself, but in the common spaces and the corridors and the cafeterias. So we really try to see that all of this becomes a really vibrant space. Thanks.
So thank you. I have one more slide. So thank you, Mr. Dinesh. And please give a big round of applause for him. He has agreed to provide us with the design as well. And I think our college is willing to get involved in the actual architecture and construction of the project as well. So let's have a big round of applause for him, please. So what we would ask of you, the next slide, please. What do we ask of you? We need 20 crores to build India's most important lab. And this lab is, as we've all heard tonight, inclusion is going to be a feature of this. And this lab is going to be a model lab for not just this lab, but all other future labs that are to be built in India or anywhere else in the world. So this is not a donation. I would like you to consider this as a down payment on India's inclusive future to create a legacy. What we offer are these sponsorship tiers. As you can see, 10 crores, 2 crores, 1 crore, and 50 lakhs. So my sincere appeal to all of you is, please consider supporting our Innove8Ability initiative. Thank you.
Thanks to wonderful Dr. Shivani. Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen,
we now move on to a very important part of this. Of course, all the sections are equally important for us. Those who are outside, kindly come in because we need your participation right now, right here on this stage. I would now like to call upon Vice President of this beautiful organization, India Rising Foundation, Srimati Deepa Narayan Shashindran and Shivananda Thalreddy to come on stage to kindly deliver the pledge of Innove8Ability that we are discussing here for so long today. I know all of you are overloaded with information, but we're also loading you with snacks, I hope. So please keep up that energy and enthusiasm for us.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we're all making a history. This is going to be the first Innove8Ability lab in India. So this whole idea was conceived by my colleague here, Shivanand Talari. How do you all like about it? This is for our nation, our Bharat. So I would like Shiv to talk about this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I think I'm extremely overwhelmed to see you all today evening. And I am extremely grateful to the Minister and the dignitaries on the dais of the dais. The whole objective of this evening is to begin the conversations. The conversations about how we should include the people into the mainstreaming space of research. Researchers with disabilities are the stars of this evening. The real stars of this evening are researchers with disabilities, and we bow down in reverence to all of them today. The whole objective, I think I had a word with Anjali saying that are we mainstreaming or are we excluding? We are not excluding anyone. We are just beginning the conversations. Because if nobody starts the conversations are going to lie in the can somewhere. So today, we are talking about can we begin the conversations and create a space for researchers with disability in this country. And this begins today. Thanks to everyone on the dais and off the dais. And we are talking about building the one exclusive space for researchers with disability in the state of Karnataka. Let us give it a big clap, ladies and gentlemen. And with this, we begin the conversation to ensure that every lab in this country begins to think about creating inclusivity as a part of their working. It's not about creating a different space, it's about including every space for the people who are with disabilities and researchers with disabilities. On to that, we have a fundraising alignment today. We are requesting everybody off the dais to take your pledge cards that are there and do pledge for the evening and the cause, and your contribution is supporting a researcher with disability in the country, and that is in the state of Karnataka today. So let's give it a big clap, ladies and gentlemen, and start off the evening today.
Your contribution commitment will go in building 10,000 square feet accessible open lab, research and innovation grants, adaptive infrastructure, IP to enterprise pathways, multidisciplinary research ecosystem. So the barrier is never ability, it is always the system. So can I
May I take this space? This concept is conceptualized by everybody who is here. Everybody wanted to do this, but somebody has to start off, and we started off. It's not about one person, it's about a systemic change that has to happen. Yes, if anybody is ready to pledge for the lab, please start off.
Okay, who's here? I'll start off with the highest denomination, 25 lakhs. Anybody here? The next one, 10 lakhs. Okay, we already have two of our wonderful sponsors who came forward towards this cause. We will next go to the 5 lakhs.
I think it's important to start somewhere. Don't bother about the number. Even if it's 1 rupee, let's start off the pledge. I think it's not about the number, it's about the commitment, it's about the conscious step towards it. Anybody in this room would like to talk, the mic will go to them. Off to you.
And you can also fill in your details and leave the pledge cards with us. We will connect with you and let us make a history. And this is going to be there for generations to come. And we are going to, this is going to be an actual, revolution and a change for our country.
Santoshi, how do you want to talk about this? Santosh, how do you want to talk about this? The research lab in Karnataka for researchers with disabilities. What do you want to say about it? Yes, sir, please.
That's a very unique one. So I know people are a little hesitant to, when you say you have to put in money, this is how this is going to be. It's going to be a difficult time for us. It's not easy. But yes, from the foundation, I will give you a check of 10 lakhs rupees to you. By giving money, nobody is going to give a take. This is not just because we put money, that doesn't mean that we are great. But definitely to create an infrastructure, as I said, we will work with the government of Karnataka. And as well as wherever I can go meet all the industries, create more money for us to grow to the next level. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. That's an encouragement. I think you can take the cue from there and whatever you would like to write, put it on the pledge cards, give it back to the volunteers who are there, and we begin this day. Thank you very much and thank you for being there. And thank you for being patient, irrespective of whatever the delays that happened during the meeting. And there are little bit of disturbances here and there. We sincerely seek your forgiveness if at all we have committed any mistake in this evening.
Vice President for Grants, State Streets, International Ford Foundation Scholar and Disability Inclusion Leader with 20 plus years experience in social policy. Please join us now on stage quickly. And we have the panelists, Professor Amit Prakash, Professor and Head, DHSS at IIT Bangalore, convener of CAGS and co-founder of Vision Empire and Verbi Technologies. Arman Ali, of course, we've already given a shout out to him, all the way from Delhi, a leading disability rights advocate and a national award recipient. Dr. Bhumika Moore, Head Policy Research and Collaboration in APD, and Deepa Nagraj, Global Head, ESG and CSR Emphasis. A huge round of applause for all these wonderful panelists who will very quickly and very briefly share their thoughts with us. With the moderator at the helm of the affairs.
bro.
me here. Actually, for my first international tournament, Santosh lad helped me. Because it's my achievement. Now I come here. What a coincidence. Thank you, sir.
Can we break? Okay, break it halfway down. That's perfect.
One thing, I mean, I don't know how long ago, last 30 years I've been doing Prasad. And it's immense, he's such a beautiful, wonderful soul. I've attended a lot of fashion shows and I've seen the shows, but this is something memorable in my life. I'll never forget this myself. So all the participants, thank you so much. You're also pretty lovely. God bless you all. A great inspiration.
Sir.
Prasad, a round of applause to Prasad, please.
ಒಂದು ಹೃದಯಪೂರ್ವಕ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನು ತಿಳಿಸಬೇಕು. ಒಬ್ಬ ಸಾಧಕರು ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬ ಸಾಧಕರನ್ನ ಗುರುತಿಸುವಂತಹ ಮಹತ್ತರವಾದ ಘಳಿಗೆ ಸಂತೋಷ್ ಅವರಿಂದ ಸತ್ಯವಾದ ಮಾತು. ಪ್ರಸಾದ್ ಬಿಡಪ್ಪ ಅವರ ಹೆಸರನ್ನ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಚಿಕ್ಕಂದಿನಿಂದ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. ಮ್ಯಾಜಿಕ್ ಓಲ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಶ್ಯೂರ್.
It is my privilege and honor to propose the Board of Champs at the Indializing Innovability Award 2026. Today was not just an event, it was a celebration of courage, innovation, inclusion, and possibility. From powerful keynote speeches to thought-provoking panel discussions, from inspiring stories of determination to the vision of dedicated innove8Ability, open labs, every moment today reminded us India's true strength lies in empowering every individual to dream, innovate, and excel. On behalf of India Rising Foundation, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to our Honorable Chief Guest, Sri Santosh Lajji, for his valuable presence, inspiring words, and unwavering support towards inclusive growth and empowerment. My sincere thanks to all our esteemed guests of honor, Kara Shalini Saraswati, Father George Kanandan, Director of the Project Vision, and others. I would like to express our sincere appreciation to all our strategic partners, sponsors, corporate leaders, jury members, and panelists who enriched this evening with their wisdom, encouragement, and commitment towards building an inclusive India. A special word of thanks to Sri Prasad Vidapal and his wonderful team for bringing alive the spirit of inclusivity through the runway portal Inclusive Fashion Show. Your creativity and commitment have added tremendous energy and meaning to this evening. I would also like to place on record our gratitude to the management and staff of Four Seasons Hotel Bengaluru for their outstanding hospitality, excellent arrangements, and support in hosting this prestigious event so gracefully. A special note of appreciation and thanks to India Rising Foundation, Samarthanam Trust, all supporting organizations, volunteers, interns, and every individual working tirelessly behind the scenes. Events of this scale and impact become successful only because of collective efforts, dedication, and teamwork. I also thank the media fraternity for amplifying this important movement and helping take this message of innovability to society. As we leave this avenue tonight, let us carry forward not just memories of this event, but a renewed commitment to create a nation where talent is never limited by disability, where innovation knows no barriers, where inclusion becomes a way of life. Thank you all once again for making this evening memorable and impactful. Vande Mataram, Bharat Mata Ki Jai.